Young bad girl, so young when we had conquered the world. There ain't a thing that I couldn't do when you're with me and I'm next to you. In this joy-filled friendship, every season of this life. Joy-filled friendship, with you by my side.
If I can feel something's not right, in the moment, I'll probably say something. I'll probably say, "Hey, why'd you say it that way?" In the moment. If I don't say it in the moment, I'll give her another chance because then I'll make that particular same situation happen again. So, if it was like, let's say somebody just made we watching basketball and somebody just made a free throw and they made the points or what have you, and she acted a certain way, and I noticed that it was on the line of flirtation. I'll wait until that happens again. Like it's gonna be another free throw, and if she does it again, then what I would do, I would pretty much end the day. Like I'll say, hey guys, I think Rich and I are gonna watch the game from here on out. So listen, I'm glad you came over, but we're getting ready to just hang out with each other now. And I'll see you later. And I will not bring her around my husband anymore. And I'll tell my husband about it too. Because one thing about men, they don't notice a lot of things. Men don't notice a lot of things. And let me give you an example. My husband talked to me about this when I think we were dating at the time. And we were talking about men and women, right? I read Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man. And when I read his book, he was saying, he said, men are black and white. You guys bring all the flavor and bring all the color in. So I asked Rich, what does that mean? He said, men are stupid. I'm like, what does that mean, stupid? He said, in terms of, he said, let's give an example. Let's say we're in Best Buy, because sometimes we go to Best Buy, and my husband is a techie. He said, so let's say we're in Best Buy, and I'm looking at the computers, and you say, I want to go see the TV. So I go look at the TVs, and he's at the computers, and a young lady walks up, and she's talking to him. Not he doesn't work there, but he knows about computers, and she says, hey, I'm trying to decide whether to get an Intel or AMD. What's the difference? And I'm telling her the difference. And you walk up, you can tell if she's flirting or not. I'm thinking she wants information. But you would be able to tell that no, she's just saying that because she's actually flirting with you. So the thing about it is that I forgot what I was my point, but my point is that men don't always know when women are flirting. We know that. So for me, once I see that there's any type of flirtatious bone in her body about my husband, that's off limits for me. Now, I'll end the day. I would say, hey, you know what? Rich and I are going to hang out the rest of the day. But listen, thank you for coming over. I grab her coat, her purse, whatever she has, give it to her, and she can leave. And she will not be invited to my house to be around my husband in that way anymore. And then inform him. Because it's very important that I inform him, because we may be in a different situation when she's around. But now he'll be aware that she was flirting with him, and then he'll ostracize himself from her. That's probably what I'll do.
Very good. Ready for my answer? Okay. No, on a serious note though, yeah, if something like that happens, and this is really great, you'll see the flavor of our friendship right now. I'm excited about this because this is something that gives them the flavor of our friendship, how we handle things, and the difference in the two of us, and how close we are, even with the difference between the two of us. How I'd handle that is get her coat and kick her out. No, I'm just joking. I'm really just joking. I wouldn't do that. I'm just joking. I'm just joking with that one. But what I would do is I'd make a note of it and I'll watch it and I'll see whether or not something else while we're together, and using that example of watching the game, if something else happens while we're together within that environment. Because if it happened one time, it'll come around a second time. It'll come around a third time. That's when I say 3 strikes, you're out, right? It comes around again, and I'll make a note of it. And then the next time it comes around again, then that's when I'll go ahead and start placing what I call my my plan, my exit strategy in place. My exit strategy is this. Once I hand you, like Arnold was saying, once she hands you the jacket, I'll actually let you stay here until the end of the game. But I would start making messages, sending messages to let you know that I know what you're doing. Just at that point. Because Arlen is right. The guys are looking at the game. They're not trying to, see who's flirting. And a lot of times we blame guys. You knew she was flirting, and they really don't know.
Nope.
They're just thinking they're just going on about, like you say, helping somebody. They really don't know. There's a lot of situations when they don't know.
Yep.
So I wouldn't look at him in any other kind of way, but I would look at her side-eyed. I'd let the game end, and then once I do easily and courteously say, you guys have a great evening, that actually for me would be the end of our friendship. The reason why is this: because a friendship, you trust. And now I've brought you into one of the most intimate sections of my life, which is my husband. And if I can't trust you that I could go to the restroom or go someplace and come back and everything is copacetic, everything is fine, if I can't trust you, then you no longer need to be in my life. And so, but when I say goodnight to you, it's not where I turn around and say, oh, well, you're not my friendship and you're not my friend anymore and da-da-da-da. I'll talk to you and I say, oh, well, by the way, I did see you did so and so and so. Am I misunderstanding you? Were you trying to, make gestures towards my husband? Oh, no, absolutely not. I was just joking. At that point, I still don't trust you anymore because I saw what you did. And because I allow you to do, for me, I do what I call the 3 strikes, you're out. I didn't go the first time when I saw it. I didn't go the second time when I saw it. I let you do it the third time. So if it's the third time, then it was not an accident. It's not something like, oh yeah, no, we were just joking. No, that's when it's coming out of your heart. And once I say, okay, have a great night, then that's your exit to my life. And then, yes, I'll do like Arlen said, I'll turn around and I'll let my husband know, oh, the reason why you don't see so-and-so anymore is because of da-da-da-da. Because I didn't quite like what she did while she was here. And then that'll be it. But he wouldn't even see her at an event or anything. And that'll be the end of that, because I have to be able to trust you. And that's so important in a friendship. And that you have to be able to trust that person, what I call with the intimate section of your life. And the intimate section of your life is when you start having a husband. What happens then? Mm-hmm. And that's the way I would handle it.
I think that's.
But I wouldn't see that person ever again, and they wouldn't know I've divorced them either. I wouldn't tell them, oh no, I'm not going to see you anymore. It's just that we just don't hang out together anymore. I just don't, because on our schedules we make time for people. I just don't put her on my schedule to make time for her anymore, because I see that even if I just go drink and have a lunch with you after I know what you did with my husband, for me, that at that point for me, I'm being hypocritical, because then I know you've done something. I don't like it, but why should I still sit down and have lunch with you when I know in my heart I don't trust you anymore? So
right.
That's why you'll see me do something like that. But
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, my husband will know the reason why he doesn't necessarily see her over anymore.
Right. I agree with that. So when I said that if we see them at an event, because it could be somebody who go to church with us, it could be someone who we may just see them at an event, but my husband will then know, because as soon as that person leaves, my husband will be like, did you want them to leave? Because he probably noticed that I put them out. Now it wouldn't be abrupt like you got to go. No, because I have some class about myself. But I would say I think so.
Don't mind us. We do this all the time.
So I would be like, oh, you know what, Rich and I, we're gonna finish watching the game or whatever I say. Just make sure they get out of my house. And so for me, it's a long handle spoon, right? So we won't get together and do things together. Whether that's a divorcing of our relationship or what, I don't know. But we won't hang out, because it would really tick me off that they are doing this with my husband, wanting him to notice it, right? Wanting him to kind of chime in with her, and I don't like that kind of thing. And that's why I tell my husband right away, because my husband like, did you just put them out? Like, are we supposed to be doing something I don't know about? Like, sweetheart, let me just tell you why this happened, and I'll let him know. And he'd be like, I didn't even notice. But see, this is me also making my husband aware of things. Because sometimes we've been in a store. I have a very handsome husband, if I may say so myself. And
Yes,
people,
you may say so yourself.
and ladies look at him all the time, which I don't care. That's fine with me. I'm not insecure, but sometimes people are like, hi. And he be like, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? But they'll say hi like to both of us. And Richard just be like, how you doing? How you doing? But not even really looking at them, but it's like, because men, so a lot of times men think, and Rich and I had this conversation, I said, so what would have made you think in that situation where you're at the computer and my husband worked for AMD for years and years and years and years, so he would definitely talk about how wonderful AMD is as opposed to Intel. I asked him, what then would make you know that she was flirting? He was like, if she was like batting her eyes, or if she tried to touch me. And when he meant touch, he didn't mean, touch his private area. People are like, that kind of thing. I said, well, at least you know about the touch.
Yeah.
I said, at least you know about the touch. I said, women don't really blink back their eyes a lot, do they? And I don't know, maybe they do. Maybe they do. I don't know. He said she was like batting her eyes, or like, making it obvious.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
That. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now when you did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he said. He said if she was batting her eyes, or if she touched me, because people would be like, you're so crazy. He said, then to me, that would be like she touched me and she's batting her eyes, she's flirting. He said, but if she's just asking me questions, you would be the one to notice more than that. I'm like, yeah. I said, because what I do, I stand up on the side to see what she's asking, like see what she's saying first, like not just because she's talking to you about the computer, because I'm not.
You're my girl, so young when we had conquered the world. There ain't a thing that I couldn't